Pedro Jimeno from the family Chantel broke Chantel Everett's heart, but I still think he has more genuine supporters than his former wife. The Dominican Republic native was in his mid-20s when he met Chantel through a mutual friend. He agreed to teach her Spanish but fell in love with her looks and personality. In 90 Day Fiancé Season 4, Pedro came to the United States on a K-1 visa. Much like other foreigners on the show, Chantel told her family he was just a friend but eventually expressed her desire to marry him. Pedro and Chantel initially appeared to be great partners, but they surprised me by becoming increasingly incompatible over time, revealing they weren't a strong couple. Throughout the years, Pedro and Chantel argued over trivial matters and clashed over personal ambitions. They also lacked empathy towards each other's families, which became a significant issue in the later seasons. Despite my believing they'd overcome their differences, I was shocked by their poor communication. The ongoing fights led to Pedro eventually requesting a divorce from Chantel, bringing an end to a marriage that was unhealthy from the beginning. The split between Pedro and Chantel was inevitable, but I still believe she was more responsible for the relationship issues than he was. Over the last 7 years, Pedro did everything he could to be a better husband while fulfilling the role of a good son and brother. He avoided criticizing his wife or damaging her reputation in front of his family. Meanwhile, Chantel did everything to tarnish Pedro's public image, portraying him as the worst husband. She even involved her family members in her marital issues. I was shocked to see it when the TLC alum decided to speak badly about Pedro in front of her parents and siblings, especially since they already had a low opinion of him. She made unfounded accusations, calling their marriage a scam and portraying her husband as a con artist. Chantel also overstepped boundaries by meeting Pedro's mother in the Dominican Republic. Despite their strained relationship, instead of giving her husband the space he requested, Chantel complained to her mother-in-law about her marital issues with Pedro. She even accused her husband of cheating without any evidence. While Pedro may not be very popular on Instagram, I believe he has more genuine supporters than Chantel. The comments on Pedro's social media posts suggest fans are rooting for him and believe he didn't scam Chantel. They think he has worked hard to succeed in his career and deserves to live comfortably in the United States. In July, Pedro shared a selfie showing his French beard and a big smile. He used the post to share some motivation and received hundreds of positive comments. One social media user even wrote, "Proud of you for taking the higher road." She last appeared in 90 Day, The Single Life, where she tried to date other men. Fans supported her decision and cheered her on. Unfortunately, Chantel embarrassed herself in front of the cameras, making herself appear immature by acting desperate. Her behavior turned many fans against her. In contrast, Pedro has stayed away from TV and focused on his career, giving fans little to no reason to dislike him. She made her first mistake when she filed for Pedro's K-1 visa without informing her family. She even lied to her parents about Pedro, claiming he was just a friend, which made him seem dishonest in their eyes. I think Chantel's next major mistake was clashing with Pedro's family. She failed to build a good relationship with her in-laws and became embroiled in unnecessary drama, putting strain on her relationship with Pedro. She expected Pedro would obey all her commands, similar to how her father, Thomas Everett, treated her mother, Karen Everett. However, Chantel failed to acknowledge Pedro wasn't a submissive man like her dad. She only recognized this when she encountered conflicts with her in-laws and witnessed Pedro's aggressive behavior. Chantel's self-righteousness and her tendency to involve her family in her marital problems ultimately led to the failure of her marriage. During the Family Chantel Season 4, Pedro asked Chantel to support him as he pursued his new career as a real estate agent. He had high aspirations for his job and wanted to continue growing. Unfortunately, Chantel didn't fully comprehend Pedro's motivation and intentions. She didn't support him as he asked and instead frequently quarreled with him over trivial matters. Chantel didn't seem to care her husband was starting his new career in the United States. I also felt Pedro did nothing wrong when he asked Chantel to give him space. He was simply busy with work and didn't want marital issues to ruin his future. Sadly, Chantel didn't appreciate Pedro's passion for real estate. Instead, she jumped to conclusions and doubted his motives. Chantel didn't respect Pedro's request for space and inserted herself between him and his co-workers, attempting to verify her suspicions. The Family Chantel alum displayed no trust in Pedro, disregarding that they shared a bank history, had been together for 6 years, and had bought a home together.